My dear learners, you are most welcome to Primary 3 Literacy 2 lesson by Teacher Joel MALUMA. In today's lesson, we are going to look at uses of nitrogen as a gas and rare gases. Yes, uses of nitrogen and rare gases. In case you have any question after watching this video, you are free to send it to my WhatsApp number, which you are seeing on your screen. This is my WhatsApp number, or you can also use my email address to forward your question, and I shall get back to you as soon as possible. So now let us begin by looking at the uses of nitrogen. Uses of nitrogen. One, it helps in formation of artificial fertilizers like NPK. Do you know some artificial fertilizers? NPK is one of them. Fertilizers are like manure. I guess you know very well manure. We can get manure from the plant remains. When they decompose, they give us composite manure. Are we together? Then, how do we make it? There is a process which one day we shall get to learn. But today, let us focus on the artificial fertilizers like NPK. So these fertilizers are so good in that they support the plant to grow well. Plants which are which are planted in places without enough fertilizers, they don't do well. So at times we have to buy the artificial ones like NPK. Now, as you can see here, there is NPK. What does N stands for? N stands for nitrogen, which is used by plants to produce proteins within the plant. So we have nitrogen as one of the ingredients. Then we have P standing for phosphorus and K standing for potassium. These terms are more of an advanced level which we have not yet reached to, but my concern today is nitrogen. Let us leave these other ones. We shall learn about them in chemistry when we get to secondary. So nitrogen helps in formation of artificial fertilizers. Number two, we are seeing that nitrogen provides nutrients to leguminous plants. What are leguminous plants? Do we know them? How do they look like? So here we have a picture of a leguminous plant, and what makes them different from others is this feature you are seeing here. So they have what we call root nodules on their roots. So when tried to magnify this, you will see what is inside the root nodules. So it is something small like you are seeing here, but when magnified, this is what we can see. Now, what is inside here? Are these sweets? No, they are not sweets. So these ones are nitrogen fixing bacteria. So these are bacteria that fix nitrogen. Okay? Now, this nitrogen that is fixed is the one that is used by this plant. It produces, first of all, different nutrients. Then among them we have proteins, as we have seen. So the plant uses the proteins, like we need different nutrients in our bodies to grow well. So even the plant does the same thing. So Last time we looked at how carbon dioxide, through the process of photosynthesis, helps the plant to make its own food. In the same way, nitrogen helps it. Are we together? Let us move on. Now, we need to look at some examples of leguminous plants, plants which have got these root nodules, as you can see. Do we know some of them? Are you able to mention like 2 or 3? So among them, number 1, we have the beans, we have the soya beans, we have the ground nuts, and the peas. So these are some of the plants which have got root nodules. So these ones are now called leguminous plants because they have the root nodules. We need to see how they look like physically. How do those roots look? So here we have the roots of a bean plant with root nodules. These the small features you are seeing on the roots here, okay, those are the so-called root nodules. If I try to make it appear bigger, this is how they look like. These small things you see, they are the root nodules, and what is inside them, there we find the nitrogen fixing bacteria. The word nodules is just here, root nodules. So you never know, a question may come and you are asked to name how we call these ones. Here I can call them X, and I ask you to name part marked X of the root. Or you mention, or you give some examples of plants having this type of root. So there, what do we have? We have beans, we have soya beans, we have ground nuts, and then we have the peas. Is that very clear, my dear learners? All right, now we move on. I want to remind you about joining P3 Google Classroom. Here is the class code you can use, where you will find more of these lessons. The lesson notes are there, and the activity which you can attempt. Now, let us look at uses of rare gases. Uses of rare gases, where we have neon, helium, argon, and xenon. So, to begin with, is neon is used in disco lights. Do we know disco lights? Those bulbs that give different colors. When it comes to parties, that is where you can find more of this kind of bulbs. And the Christmas season, everywhere there is that kind of decoration, and disco lights are like wow. So what is used in them is the neon. Then helium is used in balloons and blimps. Now, what do I mean by this? Blimps are like the hot air balloons. Do we know hot air balloons? These are means of air transport. So, for them, they use neon, helium as a gas, okay? That balloon, when it is being set to fly and take people to another place, it uses pressure, and that pressure is the one that makes it to enlarge, and then air comes and drive it away. But in the process, helium as a gas is used there. I'm not a technical person there to explain the whole process, but this is the little that we can get to learn. Another one is now argon, which is used in filament bulbs. We have filament bulbs, and once this argon is over, the bulb stops giving light. It blows. Lastly is xenon, which is used in high-speed electric flash bulbs in cameras. So, my dear learners, what are you discovering? when it comes to rare gases, everywhere we are talking about bulbs or lights. Are we together? So the point is, you may not be too specific like I have been, but once you are asked to mention some of the uses of rare gases, just say they are used in disco lights, used in disco lights, or used in balloons and blimps, used in filament bulbs, used in high-speed electric flash bulbs, in cameras, that flash of the camera that flashes once in just a second, the speed it uses and disappears is possible because of xenon, which is a rare gas, is an example. So in future you will get to learn more about this in details, how everything works, but for now that is the little we can learn about rare gases. So my dear learners, I have an exercise for you which I would like you to find. This activity of lesson 2 has activity on P3 Google Classroom, and you need to join. Here is the class code which will help you to join Google Classroom of Primary 3 and have access to the notes and exercises that we've been giving since this program started. So this marks the end of the lesson, and I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you missed out some of the lessons, please subscribe in order to get more upcoming lessons for all subjects. So here is the subscription button, and then this side you can check out the playlist below for recent lessons you may have missed. So when you tap here, you get to the recent to the playlist of Primary 3, where you will find the videos of the recent lessons. Once again, my name is Teacher Joel MALUMA, and my number is down there in case you have any question. I want to wish you a good day. May God bless you.